Welcome back to Truck and Talk. I'm Stephanie Valle. When it comes to trucking, everything depends on tires. They carry the weight of safety, efficiency, and performance. And today we're joined by Jim Russell, the Executive Vice President of Border Tire, part of the MBT family. Border Tire keeps fleets rolling with retreading, inspections, roadside service, and solutions that save money while keeping drivers safe on the road. Jim, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, before we dive into our main conversation, we want to take a quick detour for fuel for thought. This is when we take a look at what's happening across the trucking industry right now and we get our guest's perspective. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Great. So, there's been a growing focus on sustainability, with many fleets being asked to show how they reduce waste and their carbon footprint. So, retreading is often highlighted as one of the most impactful solutions. So, from your perspective, how important will retreading become in the next few years for both cost savings and environmental responsibility?
I think retreading is key to all of that. I think that one of the most important things to the tire industry and the trucking industry, and it's the reason why Border Tire has just recently built the largest Michelin retread plant in North America. We believe it's key to our growth. We believe it's part of our long-term strategy and where we're going to grow. And retreading tires is essentially recycling of tires. So we take old tires and we turn them back into new tires, and I think that helps trucking companies not only save money, but it helps them um, control their investment in tires, and it will drive them more towards the premium tires because as retreading grows, they'll start to see the difference in the value of running premium tires on the road today.
So, tire technology is evolving fast, from smart sensors that track tire pressure and wear in real time to new materials designed to improve fuel efficiency. So, how do you see these innovations shaping the way that fleets manage their tires over the next decade?
I think that um, one, tires are probably the third or the fourth most largest expense that trucking fleet experience today. They not only are they expensive, but they also have a direct impact on fuel economy, which is the number one expense for trucking companies. And I think anytime a trucking company can improve their tire maintenance, um, it will allow tires to perform better and save them more money. So I think that anything that allows them to maintain the air or take better care of their tires will make retreading even more important to them.
Great. Okay. So, now we want to talk a little bit more about you and all of your knowledge. So, Jim, you've built a career in the tire industry and the fleet service business. So, what first drew you to the industry and then what led you to Border Tire?
So yeah, I'm coming up on my 20th anniversary in the tire business. My background is engineering. I have an engineering degree, and um, I early on in my career, I wanted to get into manufacturing, something fast paced and exciting, and I landed as a job as a quality engineer for Michelin, which is a tire manufacturer, the largest tire manufacturer in the world. And I worked in the factories for about 8.5 years, and then I moved into sales and distribution of tires um, for about 9 years. And then at that time, I decided I wanted to come to work for a small company. I wanted to make a difference at a smaller company. And so 3 years ago, I joined Border Tire to come on board here and to help them grow in the markets that they operate in.
So, Border Tire has expanded. It started as a small company, but now it's expanded across the Southwest, California, Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. So, how has that growth changed the way that you serve fleets and support drivers?
So it's a great question. The fleets these days are moving more and more towards um, using less vendors, more reliable and fewer vendors. And by expanding our footprint and providing services in other markets, as allows us to take care of our customers in all the areas in which they operate. So I think that and in giving them the quality and reliable service that they're used to.
So, when fleets partner with Border Tire, what are the core services that deliver the most impact?
So The service that I think is the most valuable to our fleets is probably our commercial tire consultants. They don't just sell tires, they work with the fleets on their tire programs, the tires that they run, how they maintain the tires, how retreading fits into that, and they really work with fleets to find solutions that solve problems for them and control their overall tire expense and the expense of the services related to them.
And speaking of expense, you mentioned retreading, and that does save fleets serious money while extending tire life. So, why is retreading such a smart move for both cost savings and safety?
So, for cost savings is that tire manufacturers today are making better and better tires that have one longer life but better retreadability. And so for cost savings is that you can take this asset that you spent so much money on and you can get multiple lives out of it. Today we've got casings out there that you can tires that you can retread up to 4 times, which is almost unheard of. And as far as safety is the technology that's in retreads today is absolutely safe. These tires perform just like their brand new counterparts.
So, is it basically just replacing the tread that we all see on the outside of the tire? That's all it is?
So, no, no, it's not. It's one of the things that is a misconception with retreading is that we think that it's just grinding it off and sticking some rubber on it and such. And a lot of people feel it's that simple, and it's why they think there's retreads all over the side of the road. But retreading today is so technologically advanced, and the systems that are out there today, and the plant that we have is a Michelin retread plant, and the technology that's in that plant is like no other. And so there's yes, we are putting new tread on it, which is why it's called a retread, but there's a lot more than just sticking it on there. It's to ensure that the tire is safe for the road today.
And can you give us an example of some type of measure that is part of the process that helps make these retread tires safe?
So so yes, uh, the safety and the quality that's involved in the retread plant starts at our initial inspection post. The initial post is where the operators, our highly trained operators, determine if the used tire or the casing is capable of even being retreaded. The things that they can find are unbelievable. And most of the tires fail right there, and we don't retread them at all. Then for the things that they miss, we have other processes. We have a post that's called a casing integrity analyzer, which looks for things like the belt separating inside the tire, the things that you can't see with your eyes. We have x-ray machines that do it. But I think the most important thing is the process itself. It's We audit it frequently. All of our technicians, the machines, everything is audited by us. It's also audited by Michelin, and to ensure the highest quality product that comes out of that plant. And I feel confident every day that the tires that come out of our factory.
So, can you walk us through the retread inspection process and how you make sure that those retreads are meeting the safety and performance standards?
So so yeah, absolutely. So um, some of it is because the operators inspect it, but we also have other things on the post that are looking for simple things like nail holes and belt separations. The chirography post, which is called a casing integrity analyzer, it 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 takes a tire and looks for things that like failure that would happen just from riding a tire for too low on air pressure or whatever that would destroy the casings. So all of that. And if we suspect something, we have the ability to x-ray all of that in that post. And then the step-by-step process that we have in there ensures that the tires that come out of there are just as good as a new tire. And then at the very end of the process, we have the final inspection post, and their job is to make sure that everybody did their part. And if they don't think so, then they send it back through the process again, and we do it again. So I mean and then on top of that, like I said, we are audited regularly by Michelin. Our maintenance programs are audited. Everything is audited to make sure that it's meeting those standards and that the machines are operating the way that they're supposed to.
How often are tires that have been retreaded inspected compared to new tires?
So how often are they inspected after they're built?
Right. Like if they're on the road.
They're inspected just like a new tire. We inspect them, the fleets inspect them. One of the service that we provide our larger customer is fleet inspections. We walk the yards, we measure air pressure, we measure tread depth, we look for visual things. That's a service that we offer as a company as well to make sure that our fleets reduce their downtime. That they don't we find the problems on the yard before it gets to the road.
So, Border Tire runs 24-hour roadside service. What is the biggest challenge in providing that level of support, and how do you make sure that fleets can depend on it?
I have to say this is probably the one area that I am more proud of our team than any other area. We are exceptional with emergency road service. Um, as a Michelin dealer, a commercial servicing dealer, we measure our performance on ERS every call. Um, One of the key things for fleets is getting their trucks back up and running. Downtime is crucial to them. We do somewhere between 10 and 15,000 emergency road calls every year,
Wow.
and we accept 98% of every call that comes into our company, and we average 102 minutes of downtime from the time the call comes in to the time the truck is up and running, and that is unheard of. And we do it in California, which is even more unheard of. So I couldn't be more proud of the team, and really it's a team. It's from the dispatchers that receive the calls, the technicians that do the calls, the the inventory manager who orders the tires and has them at the store. You got to have the right tire at the right place at the right time, and the technicians that are willing to do it, and we do it well. I'd say better than anybody.
Wow. Can you share a success story in a roadside rescue that shows the value of having Border Tire on call?
The one that stands in my mind, and I don't get involved in a lot of the emergency road calls, but I do occasionally get calls, and this one actually came from my son. So my son has a friend who fights wildfires. California has a lot of wildfires,
Mhm.
and they were out there fighting a fire, and they had a unique vehicle with unique tires, and um, it was down, had flat tires, and where they were at, they couldn't find a single dealer that had the tire that they needed. And so they thought they'd take a shot and call my son, and my son called me, and we were able to find the tire and drive I think it was 3.5 hours out of our way to go get this fire truck back up and running. And not in an area that we normally work, but I think one thing that we take pride in Border Tire is taking care of the community. And if we're able to get a fire truck back up and running in the middle of the woods, in the middle of a wildfire, then we're going to do it.
What a success story. That was really great.
I loved it.
So, for fleet managers, how does working with Border Tire change their total cost of ownership compared to other providers?
I think this is where our commercial tire consultants, our salespeople, we don't just sell tires, and that's their main role is to work with fleets to solve their problems, but also to help them reduce their overall expense when it comes to tires and the services related to them. Our salespeople work very hard every day with their customers because we don't want somebody to just buy a tire once from us. We want long-term customers that we have relationships with that stay with us for the long haul.
So, talking now about just how much money goes into making sure that the tires are working well and not costing too much, if you will. How do alignment, balancing, wheel reconditioning extend tire life and then also boost that fuel economy?
Well, yes, they all do. Uh, some of the
Answer is yes.
yeah, the answer is yes. We all of it plays into it, and fuel economy, and the any fleet that takes care of their equipment will see the value in it. And if you're aligning things and aligning your trucks and balancing your tires and doing good maintenance on your tires, you will see the value of it. And then you will also see the difference between premium tires and non-premium tires. And when you can see that difference, then you start making different choices when it comes to your tires. So if you're taking care of your equipment, then you'll run better equipment. The same with the tires.
You operate 3 retread plants. How do you keep quality and safety consistent across all the locations?
So I think that's the key of partnering with a large manufacturer. So all of our retread plants are Michelin retread plants. They One of the key processes or parts of that is standards, consistency. We we're regularly audited, like I mentioned before.
Mhm.
We use our new plant has probably the latest and greatest, most advanced equipment in retread plants, and we spend a lot of time maintaining it, upgrading it, and keeping up with what the new standards are with that. And because of partnering with such a large manufacturer and the pride that they take in quality, um, it helps us maintain those standards.
Border Tire is part of the MBT family. How do you work with MBT's logistics and operations teams to keep the trucks moving?
So I love being part of the MVT family. Um, it's a unique that we are able to share and collaborate across companies. That I can talk with those at MVT or at the warehousing side of it, or the the OE side of selling semis. The fact that we can collaborate and talk about the struggles that we face, the successes that we see, and what's going on in the industry, it allows me to not only serve them better, but serve our other customers better because we can better respond to what we know is truly going on in the market.
Hmm. So, heat and mountain passes, long hauls, how do those different environments affect the way that you serve the fleets?
It's tire selection. I mean, every fleet has their own specifics that they deal with. Some of them are local, some of them are going through mountain passes. It's why we carry such a wide variety of tire selections so that our tire consultants can recommend and work with fleets to find the best solution for them. If it's retreading, if it's premium tires, if it's not premium tires, there's every application has a different answer to it. So by carrying different brands and offerings, we're able to find the right solution for everybody.
And technology is transforming the industries. What new demand are you seeing for data driven tire maintenance and diagnostics?
Data's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. The days of just selling somebody a tire is over. We track everything. We track tires. We track um, the performance of the tires. We do fleet inspections for everybody, but the most important thing to a fleet is the data that comes off of that and how we present that data. Today we can see a fleet can track their tires through our entire retread process in their casing management systems. They can see everything, why things fail, how they're failing. They can see the tread depths that's coming into the plant so they can revise their maintenance programs or make sure that their people are adhering to it. Our emergency road service, they know exactly how fast we're responding to them. They know they have pictures of their tires. I mean, they have data for everything, and fleets can't get enough of it. They want more.
Wow. So, if the tire technology and data and all these things are evolving, how do you train and prepare the team to stay ahead of those trends?
So, um, by making sure that we understand the data and what it means, our biggest challenge is that we compile a lot of data and we throw it out there to the customers, but what is this? So what? What does it mean? How does it affect us? And we spend a lot of time training our teams on like why it's important, why we do what we do, why we take pictures of things and why and what it means to our customers so that we can provide them with that consistent service because once they get it, they never want to do without it.
Mm. So, are there any new tire technologies or products that you're really excited about right now?
So the one that I'm the most excited about is Michelin actually just launched a new drive tire. It's the X Line Grip D, and it's a step change in the market, as they're saying it's replacing a tire that I thought would never be replaced. and it's performing in their test 20% better. So better traction, better mileage, better fuel economy, and the casing in it is they're calling it the million mile casing. That we can get 1,000,000 miles out of a casing in 4 retreads.
Wow.
And so to be able to make that claim, it's going to get really close to it or even better than that. So that excites me because there's not tires out there like that. And we're a retread company. Retreads are the one thing that we make. We buy and sell tires, but we make retreads. And so having casings that we can retread that many times is a game changer. It increases the value of it and it increases the value of our retreads.
It also sounds like having Michelin as a partner, a business partner, is also a game changer for all of the fleets. Would you
I
say that?
I would agree. I'm obviously a big advocate of the product, and I'm a big advocate of the retread process that we have.
Mhm.
I've seen lots of retread processes that are different, and I would say that hands down, ours is probably one of the most technologically advanced, if not the most technologically advanced process.
I think we're saying a lot of things that are very interesting about tires that are groundbreaking. Would you say that you've touched on all the things that people may not realize about tires or tire service in the commercial world, or is there something that you think people may not realize?
I think the one thing that people don't realize is probably the question you asked me is like we have a real simplistic view to what it takes to retread a tire, and how important it can be for fleets. You know, the federal government right now is floating around a House bill to I think it's HR 3401, and it's to incentivize fleets to buy retreads. There's tax incentives for it. So if it passes, there'll be tax incentives for fleets. Government agencies will be encouraged to buy retreads because I think it is important for the environment. It's important for cost and fleets, and I think it will be a game changer. And I think, our retread plant that we just built, we believe it. We're doing our grand opening of that facility December 3rd out in Redlands, California, and and we're excited. We believe it's the future of border tire.
Do you think that retreads they just really just do have a lot of misconceptions about how they work and myths? I mean, you said that that is probably one of the things because I brought it up first. So is that something that is most commonly misunderstood about retreading
Yeah,
process?
I think there's a whole episode of MythBusters about it. Everybody sees tires on the side of the road and they immediately assume they're all retreads.
Wow.
And the majority of them are actually new tires. And of the ones that are retreads, the reason why they fail is not because of the retread. I mean, they do fail because of the retread, but the majority of the reasons is because we're not properly maintaining the air pressure in them. And that will cause a new tire and a retread to fail the same. So I think that's probably the misconception. And then the other one is that they don't feel it's as safe as a new tire. And that's completely false. It's just as good and just as safe as a new tire.
Okay. Well, you're busting the myths right here, right?
Yes.
So when a truck breaks down, what is the step-by-step process that Border Tire takes from the moment the call comes in?
So the moment the call comes in, we always say yes, 98% of the time. And we have obviously technicians that are on call 24 hours a day. And we do a really good job at keeping uh, the products that customers regularly need over the road, and we dispatch them immediately. We have dispatchers that work throughout the night that take the calls and find the right technicians, which gives us an advantage because the dispatcher will accept it, and if we have to pull drivers from other stores, and specifically California, we can because they're close enough, but we will always put the customers first and get them up and running.
You've led teams through some major growth. How do you mentor and support the next generation of leaders at Border Tire?
How do you support and mentor the next generation of leaders at Border Tire? It's it's about the people. If it wasn't for the people, Border Tire wouldn't exist. And the goal is to teach them to see their potentials, see their potential in what they do, and obviously help them see where their strengths are and help them feel valued and needed. And I think that as we encourage people more and are kinder to people, that they they love where they work and they'll perform better and do the things that we need to be successful.
And even as Border Tire has grown, people describe it as family oriented. So, how do you maintain that culture?
Well, I think the family feeling starts with Royal. That there's nobody that cares more about his employees and creating uh, jobs so that people can provide for their families, and you feel that every time you see them. So you just want to emulate that when you're out there. Um, I think that's the key. It feels like a family, and you want to keep that feeling. And so, being able to work for him and to run a company for him is a great honor.
So, can you share a customer story where Border Tire made a real difference in their business?
So we recently brought on a new customer, and um, and this customer is nationwide, and we took on one of their yards, and the the quality of service that we have provided them and taken care of them has caused them to start opening up all the terminals in other areas where we work, where we weren't granted the business. And I think it's just the simple things. It's the attention to detail, it's the on-time service, it's the responsiveness, the care, and everything that we do at Border Tire. And when they don't see that in other areas or other markets, with the other vendors that they're using, then they immediately say, "Hey, can you service us here?" And then I think what sets us apart is that the service that we provide in California versus Arizona and Texas is all the same. You see it, you feel it, and all that. And I think when you can help fleets stay up and running, that's what's important to them.
Where do you see Border Tire in the next 5 years?
Well, I see my retread plant at full production because that's the point of it is we built a plant that's bigger than we need
Mm.
so that we can support the growth. I see us becoming a the leading tire provider in all the markets that we choose to operate in, and I see us much bigger than we are today.
And finally, Jim, what do you love most about working and the work that you do at Border Tire?
What I love the most about Border Tire and working here is that I can see the impact that I have on a company. I can see the changes that I make, and I can see the value that I provide in a company, and it's why I like working here. I like working for, um, a company that allows me to be myself, and I feel like I can be that way at Border Tire, and I feel like I can make a difference, and that's why I like being here.
Great. Jim, thank you so much for your time today and your
Thank you,
insight.
Stephanie.
And also, just great to hear all of the vital roles that tires play in keeping fleets safe, efficient, and on the road. From retreading to roadside service, your team shows how the right tire partner makes all the difference. And to our listeners, if you want to learn more about how Border Tire can support your fleet, you can visit border-tire.com. I'm Stephanie Valle. Until next time, stay safe, stay sharp, and keep on trucking.